One, it's really nice to be here again, and today I'm going to be talking briefly about a very important document that is usually required during your application, and this is the recommendation, or sometimes it can be called the reference letter. In your SOP, in your CV, you must have stated a lot of things about yourself, some qualities, and they really need someone, one or two persons, to attest to these qualities. You might tell them that academically you're sound, but they need someone who probably you've studied under the person, or the person was a professor, or you've worked under the person. So they want these people who were your superior during one time or the other to attest to these qualities. So that is the essence of the reference letter or the recommendation letters. So most programs would tell you the number of recommendation letters they want. Usually for most Erasmus scholarship, it's usually between 2 and 3, and this is usually the number of recommendation letter that you might need for other scholarship. Yeah, so depending on the program, you might be asked to provide maybe 2 academic references and 1 professional. So in the case of the professional, it means where you have worked. So if you have a work experience or you've worked somewhere, you can get a recommendation letter from your superior. It doesn't have to be the CEO of the organization where you worked or the general manager. You can just get it from one of the superior staffs who is in the capacity to issue such a letter to you, or someone that you worked under their close supervision who can say 1 or 2 things about your qualities. And so coming to the academic references, it's quite easier to get. You can just reach out to 1 or 2 of your lecturers that you had a good relationship with during your studies. So they will be able to say something about you in regards to your academic qualities, and also other qualities such as teamwork, your ability, to deliver results when it comes to teamwork, and some other qualities like resilience, time management. So you must ensure that you reach out to a lecturer or someone that knows you very well. And mind you, if you don't have a work experience, sometimes an academic reference can suffice. I've seen situations before where they will ask for 1 academic and 1 professional, and probably maybe you don't have a work experience. You can write to the secretariat of your program or to the program director and tell them that you don't have work experience, but you can provide 2 academic references. So in that case, they will let you know if 2 academic references will suffice instead of 1 professional and 1 academic. So you need to ask questions, you need to do your findings to know if your situation can be addressed. And please, this is the most important part of this video. Whenever you are asked to provide a reference or a recommendation letter, please look through the details on the program website, because sometimes the program will give you a structure of how they want you to write the reference or the recommendation letter. Mind you, it is not your responsibility to write this recommendation letter. It's expected to be written by your superior. But in case the structure is provided, please make sure you take note of the structure and ensure you communicate it with the person who will be providing the recommendation letter to you. So most times when you write an email to them, you have to ensure that you give them the structure as well, so that when they are writing the recommendation letter, they will be able to capture those areas. If they don't capture those areas, it means that you would lose points in relation to your reference letter, because there are points for reference letters. For example, some programs might tell you that the reference or the recommendation letters take 15% of the total evaluation. So if the reference letter does not or is not in line with the structure that has been created, you might lose a lot of points there. And these are the little things that makes the difference. So you make sure that you communicate this with the person who will be writing the recommendation letter with you, so that they can follow the format that has been given. But in the case where a structure is not given or a format is not given, then in that case, it is up to the person who would be writing the recommendation letter to write things they know about you. And another thing that I also want to highlight is that most times, most of the lecturers, your superior at your workplace, most times they have a generic recommendation letter. That is, they have like a draft where they just replace the name and maybe the program, and they just write general things. Like anytime anyone asks them for a recommendation letter, most times they just go there and just edit a little thing and, you know, insert your name and they send it to you. Sometimes those kind of letters, recommendation letter, don't carry so much weight because they don't really say a lot of things about you. They don't really say personal things about you. Like, for example, I've worked with him for 5 years. I know him to do this. I know him to like this. You know, sometimes some reference letters will even go to the extent of talking about your hobbies, the things you like doing during your spare time, which is going to like reflect what you must have said in your CV and in some of your other compositions. So there will be this level of consistency between what the person is saying and what you are saying on the other side. And mind you, most times you won't see the reference letter. It's going to be submitted by the person who is recommending you or who is attesting to your quality. So you won't probably know what is written in there. So that is the ideal thing. But one important tip I want to share is that in this case, I used to recommend that when it comes to reference letters, although sometimes we don't say this publicly, but it's a wise thing to do. You can write a draft for the person who would be writing or who would be recommending you. And this draft is just to make the work easy for the person, because sometimes they are very busy and they don't have time to start. You know, it's not like maybe you don't have a good relationship with them, but for them to sit down and start to remember some things about you, it might take like a really, you know, big deal of time for them. So sometimes they might just write something generic and something general, and, you know, and sometimes you know, applicants request for recommendation letters very late, like very close to deadline. So sometimes we tend to put pressure on those people that, please, I need it tomorrow, I need it next tomorrow. So with this pressure, they tend to like do something very quick and, you know, submit on your behalf. So to avoid this, when you are requesting for a recommendation letter, make sure you do it well in time, so that you won't have to put the person under pressure, and as well you won't put yourself under pressure too. So like I was saying earlier, you can write like a draft and send it to them through email, especially when the recommendation letter has a certain structure or format. So you can help them to just structure it in that way. So of course they will read it, they will vet it, and, you know, it will still pass through their own check before they sign. And, you know, so it is better to do it that way, because you are making the work easier for such a person who would be, you know, submitting this on your behalf. So it's one of the ways to have a good recommendation letter. And don't forget, it's usually part of the grading, it's usually part of the criteria for evaluation. So it's always good not to lose so much points on this part. So this is the reason why I've decided to make this video, to enlighten us on how we can, you know, get, if not the maximum score, but close to the maximum in this area of recommendation or reference letter. I hope this video has helped us in one way or the other. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and don't forget to comment, don't forget to drop your questions, and don't forget to like the videos. And also remember to share with your friends and colleagues who you feel might need this kind of information. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.